Hey guys, morning. Well, evening. It's definitely evening. Hey Don, it's Anna Brooks here. Whew. All right, so. Wasn't really gonna get on and do a live stream today, but I changed my mind. Basically because there was something that happened yesterday that was kind of interesting, and that I thought, you know what, I really feel like this needs to be shared, and the lesson from it as well, definitely. So I figured I'd jump on quickly and share this with you guys. So I'd love you to say hi if you're there, and let me know what you're up to on Saturday night here in Melbourne. So obviously you can still see it's light outside, so it's still just before evening, but I'm going to be having a nice, quiet, chilled out night. So before I do that, I thought I would do a live stream. I've been filming a lot today as well, so a little bit tired, and that's why I'm talking a bit slower than normal. But what I want to talk to you about, right, is intuition and trusting your gut, right? So this is something that can take a lot of practice, and for some people as well, it takes a while to actually realize that you always have all of the answers within you, right? So anything that you're worried about, anything that you're wondering, what should I do? What should I say? How should I approach this situation? What's meant to be done? Is it a yes or a no or whatever? Anything like that is, you already have those answers within you. And if you get into the habit of just following your gut and following your intuition and following basically the signs, I guess, is one way of saying it, and actually really tuning into what the universe is trying to tell you and what your own self is trying to tell you, you'll find that you already have all of the answers that you need, and it's actually quite simple. So I want to share with you something that happened yesterday, which at the time, or at first, could have definitely been seen as a negative, right? So I'm a part of a few different groups on Facebook, and on one of them, another person had posted something which I completely disagreed with. I completely disagreed with everything that they said about their beliefs on this topic. And so I thought I'd state that. So I replied and said I completely disagree with this, and explained why my beliefs are very different. And then, see, the person came back and then sort of tried to be, I guess, amicable and say, yes, I agree with you, and, here's these kind of things. And see, the problem wasn't even, I kind of expected the person to disagree, which would be fine, because that's why we're all different. Like, I'm different to you, I'm different to other people, we have different beliefs, and that's okay. What I didn't expect was the 180 turnaround, where basically everything they just said in their original post, they went and said the exact opposite, right? So basically, just based on me disagreeing, they completely went back on their word and literally said the exact opposite while still trying to defend their original point. It was very confusing. But anyway, after a couple of back and forth, I just kind of, left it at, well, look, if it works for you and if it works for your clients, then that's all that matters. It doesn't really matter if I disagree or if I don't understand what's going on with you. That's fine. And so that was all fine and everything. In the past, I've gotten quite, I guess, I've held on to any issues like this. They've kind of festered in my mind, and I've kind of wondered about it. Afterwards, it's just kind of stayed lingering in my mind about what happened and did I handle it right and all that kind of thing. Whereas this time, I was very zen about it. Once I kind of had decided, well, you know what, there was a reason I was called to say something, because I'm very in tune with what I want to do and what I actually want. So if I was called to say something, I very much trust that there was a reason for me that I was meant to do that. And so when I did, basically, I knew that there was a bigger purpose to it, and it wasn't about just having a disagreement with someone by any means. So once I'd done that, I just kind of went, you know what, there's a reason for this. I'm probably trusting that you know, there's quite a few people that were agreeing with her and then quite a few people that were agreeing with me. And so I'm like, well, that's fine. If the people that agree with her beliefs read my point and think, oh, that's crap. I really don't like what this girl says, then that's great, because that's filtering. That's making sure the wrong people are not coming towards me, whilst at the same time the right people are. But at the same time, I kind of went, nah, I think there's a bigger purpose to this. I think there's something else I just don't know yet. And I just had to trust that if my intuition said go with it and reply and state, you know, your belief and, show up and stand up for people like me who also believe this way, then do it. And so anyway, that finished off. Nobody replied anymore or anything like that. At the end of the day, someone else had commented on there. And because I'd already decided to finish off the sort of talking through that thread or anything like that, I didn't actually respond on the post. I thought I'll just send this person a message privately. And it was really, really funny. This was the very last thing that happened during the day. It was literally almost midnight and I was talking and I decided to send this person a message. And the immediate connection that I had with this person was just incredible. It was like meeting one of your soulmates. Like, we just started chatting. We found out we had so much in common. Obviously, the belief of what I had said was something that really resonated with her, which was a big part. But it was just really, really incredible to know that even earlier in the day, I just knew that there was a reason, there was a bigger reason for why I was called to stand up for this belief and to stand up for myself and say what I believe, even if I couldn't see it at the time, even if at the time the best thing that it looked like was that, maybe I'll filter out some people that aren't for me and filter towards me people that are. I never imagined that I was actually going to get to connect with someone who was so genuine and such immediate, obvious connection with me, right? And it took, almost, I guess, 16, 17, 18 hours later, right? So it's really important to understand that you're not always going to understand why you have to do something when something happens, and when, when you have a guidance, some sort of intuition or some kind of gut feeling about something, you're not always going to understand exactly why it's happening. Sometimes it's going to take time. I mean, this took less than 24 hours, but sometimes it can take a lot longer. It can take weeks, it can take months, it can take years. I've definitely had things happen that I didn't understand why they were happening for years later, but eventually it gets there. But being able to tune in and trust that these signs, these gut feelings, these things that prop up into your mind and go, this is where you're meant to be, this is how you're meant to do things, this is right for you. When they come up, listen to them, trust them, lean into them, and allow them to lead you where you need to be, because there's always a bigger reason. Everything is always unfolding and manifesting to create what you're putting out there, what you're focusing on. So therefore, if you get in the habit of shutting down your intuition and shutting down your gut and not listening to this stuff and trying to just logical your way out of it, or, tough your way out of it and step into your masculine or whatever it is, and not just lean into the intuition and let it guide you and trust it, when you get into that position, you're always going to be struggling, I guess, that nothing's going to feel like it really slots in, nothing's going to feel like it really fits, and you're always going to feel like there's loose ends everywhere, right? Whereas when you're just guided by your intuition, guided by your gut, guided by those signs and things that come through, you can quite easily go, yeah, okay, I don't really understand why right now, why I have to do this, why I feel so called for this, but I can trust that my intuition is guiding me here, and that this is going to be this is going to be exactly what I need in one way or another, right? And it might not happen immediately, but you definitely will. And like I said, I did not expect that there was going to be really many repercussions or any results from the simple decision that I made to say that, no, this is something I am going to stand up for, because I believe if there's people like me, but a few years ago or whatever it is, that are reading this and thinking, okay, well, what this person's saying must be true, and I really have to follow what they say. It helps to have someone else that goes, no, there is another way of thinking. There is another set of beliefs. You don't have to subscribe to just this one theory. You're allowed to actually have your own beliefs, and most importantly, stand by them and stand up for them. And I knew that if I didn't say something, I would regret that, because I could miss out on changing someone else's life. And I could definitely have missed out on meeting this incredible person, just because we resonated so much with the message that I was sharing. So that's it. That's all I had to share with you tonight, is just around this intuition and just learning to trust yourself, learning to lean into it, and learning to listen when these things come up and just go, yep, I don't know why you're telling me this. I can't see how this is possibly a good idea right now. Actually, I can see why this might be a bad idea right now, but I'm going to trust that you know what you're doing. And your intuition, your soul always knows what it's doing. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have an amazing night. If you have any questions or anything that you wanted to run past me, please feel free. Pop a comment down below, or you can send me a private message. And I will talk to you guys really soon. Have an amazing weekend, and remember to live life on purpose. Bye.